Thank you. Gracias for this chat. And,
you're welcome.
sí, es un placer to finally meet you, meet you virtually.
Thank you very much, definitely, Victoria. It's a pleasure being here to have the chat with you, definitely.
Yes. Oh, I finished your book very recently. And, oh, Mamma Mia! I am in awe. I mean, what you've gone through and all the hardships, but then the perseverance, the success story, and always with love and with never giving up. Oh, it's incredible. Really.
Thank you.
To you.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate your message, and definitely sometimes I was just interested to let people know about the story. Basically, that's all my mission. And sometimes it's difficult to explain such a sad story without being victims or getting into victimism. So I was like, anyway, I was just trying to share the experience with other people. So that's I'm glad to hear that you really enjoy it.
Oh, very much. Yes, it's you have it because it's just such a touching journey, and
Yeah.
definitely, the fact that you're now profoundly changing lives. So it was meant to be. You had to do it. And I wanted to ask, though, first of all, because it's interesting. You say you were born on a Tuesday, but.
Yes.
But you didn't know what year. But that your first miracle is that, you were not supposed to be here. Sadly, your mother passed away during childbirth. But your dad, being the chaman,
yes.
no, I want my son. He's staying here. I mean, that must, that's like your the first miracle. Ousman
Miracle. Exactly. Due to the African traditions, Africa is the second most biggest continent in the world, and of course we have different countries in Africa, and every country has their own traditions and cultures. And especially in my case, for example, the Wala tribe, they had this kind of traditions that when a woman died during giving birth, they normally consider the child as a witch because they think that the child has a very strong spirit capable to kill the mother. So if he's so powerful to kill his mother being so small, imagine when he becomes a grown-up, he'll kill the whole community. So you have to assure the child, this kid dies before it's too late.
Oh, that is, thank goodness it didn't happen. And your father said no, but he had the power, didn't he, to decide, because he was the doctor of the community.
Effectively, exactly. He was quite known. He was in a good position, and because of that, most of the people respect him a lot, and everybody was on the standby, expecting him to give orders before they could touch me, and he never gives orders for them to kill me. So I was able to survive. Basically, he saved me.
Oh, thank you, Daddy. And I remember reading in your book that your childhood was happy, no, with other kids.
Yes. Enough in the area where we was born. For example, today I have more than one shirt. I have more than a lot of different clothes. In my childhood, I never wear shoes before. And we went running in the bush, in the jungle, pursuing animals. But because I never feel that I didn't have all things I needed. I feel very fortunate, and I had everything because the other children were also without wearing shoes. So we were all in the same line. So you don't feel like, I don't have the last iPhone 10 or the 15 or the 20. No. Everybody has the same level. So you don't feel like you are below. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely childhood was very, very happier.
And you see the plane fly for the first time. Oh, where's that going to? You know, it must have been, yes, it awakens your curiosity.
Yes, I think curiosity is really, really the main point. If we go back to early days, we consider one of the biggest scientifics in the world. For example, Isaac Newton discovered a gravity force by curiosity, just that he was sitting down and see how an apple falls down. So the curiosity pushed him to investigate what was behind that. How comes that the apple doesn't fall up, it falls down? And as a stupid question like this, but it carries him to discover one of the most important methods of physics, which is the gravity force. So I think in all human beings, all children, curiosity is something that really, really matters. And for me, I think my curiosity pushed me to go out of my community, my culture, and to seek for knowledge outside there.
Your father wanted you to stay, didn't he? I read in the book he was planning on a nice girl for you, settle down, get married, and live there with, you know, like probably continue what he had started. Perhaps he wanted you as the next shaman in
probably. Probably yes, but the fact is that every father, all parents, always deserve the best life for their children. And for him, being a good man, a hard worker, and getting married was something that for him, it was the best he can acquire or offer me. And it's really, really sad that I didn't follow his steps in this aspect, because I thought I had more interest of knowing something else than just staying home, working on the farm, and just getting married at the age of 16, 17. I was almost 12, 13, and automatically and now I was assigned to a girl that was supposed to get married.
Oh.
And I was like, wow, yes. Because of respect, because in now our African tradition, parents have absolutely respect. So when they offer such an important issue like this, you just can't tell them no. You just can't say that. So in a way, I lied to my dad because I told him, yes, I want her. I will come back, but I have to go to the city to continue my electric welding. And next year I will be coming back to see how we carry it on. But by that time, I had planned every single thing to go out of the country.
It's very ingenious of you. Oh,
yeah, and
oh. Did you ever feel guilty, you know, towards your dad by saying, "Oh my goodness"? In a way, was there like did you feel contradictory feelings? Like on the one hand, I need to go, I need to do this for myself, but then on the other, oh my poor dad. Did you ever feel you were letting him down in some way?
no, because I think I was quite fast enough to let him know that I'm not. I followed his ideas. I agreed with him, but because at the age of 9 years, he proposed me to go to the city and learn electric welding due to my curiosity. When I saw the airplane at that time, I used to manufacture toy cars for my own younger brothers and other friends. So people around the surroundings were telling him that, hey, your Ousman is very talented. So why won't you send him to the city to learn mechanics and all that? Instead of going to university, I have to learn mechanics. That was the best option they had for me. So at the age of 9, I went to the city. When I came back at the age of 12, that's when he told me about getting married. So I told him, yes, wonderful, but I will have to continue my work in the city, my learning process. The next year when I came back, then we will follow the steps ahead. So definitely I didn't tell him the truth, But I didn't lie to him. He didn't knew that I was planning something else. So it wasn't a frustration for him neither.
And then your journey begins. It's such a treacherous journey. I was reading it, Ousman, and a lot of it, I was just, my goodness, all the resilience of this young boy, because you're a boy. And then crossing the Sahara, it takes you 3 weeks. Out of 46, 6 of you make it. I mean, it's just, it's so touching. So, then your life in Benghazi, your different jobs.
Yes.
I'm thinking, oh my goodness, this man, he has to make it. And a lot of lucky misses. But then, how you forge relationships, how you keep. I always notice that there's a constant whereby you're keeping up the hope.
The only way.
Sometimes.
Yeah, that's the only thing that keeps me alive. Hope, expecting that yes, it will happen. So I mean, I'm aware that I'm one of the most fortunate people in this world. I'm aware of that. It's not normal to be able to skip from the death so many times. It's not normal. So I really appreciate it, and I think the best lotteries I've ever won in life is being alive after all the tragic situations I passed through. So that's one of the main reasons that makes me think that, okay, if I'm able to pass through all these disasters and I'm still here alive, that means that I wasn't the most strongest in the group. Out of 46 crossing the desert, we urine to drink it several times. I mean, people love big men. They couldn't make it. So if I'm able to make it, not because I'm the most strongest in the group, but I have a mission in life. And my mission is to be the voice of all these people who lost their lives on the way, and those who keep on dying every single day in the desert, in the prisons of Benghazi, and etc. And of course, the Mediterranean Sea. So the best I could do is to be the voice of all these people, and finally work in the source route to avoid future victims to fall in this horrible trap.
And absolutely, yes, rightly said, because there are so many opportunities for people not to make it. The odds are against people who are trying to leave. For starters, I remember you mentioning also the fact that you couldn't swim, and you had to build a boat. And probably most of these men and women can't swim. But then the aim is to get to Spain and survive. I mean, the instinct of survival is tremendous. But all along your journey.
Yes, you can see today, that was yesterday, I post a post on my Instagram and my Facebook about Black Lives Matter, definitely. Because it's been some couple of weeks now that all the social media, internet, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everybody is publishing Black photos on their status about Black Lives Matter, etc., etc. And definitely, it doesn't hurt me, but I feel a little bit like, wow, what a kind of hypocrisy are we dealing with? And I made a post yesterday night because I couldn't I couldn't resist it. And you can see a picture, a real picture of a Black guy just arrived in the coast. After it took me 48 hours on a small boat to cross without food, no water. I didn't know how to swim. Only the kind of nervous and the strong fear it is to be sitting on a small boat without knowing how to swim for 48 good hours. You die of fear before we fall into the water. After these 48 hours, you can see a picture where a guy arrived. He was so exhausted that he can't even stand up on his own feet. he has to scroll on the sand. However, you could see Spanish family or Europeans sitting on the beach having a sand bath without even shaking 1 centimeter to help this poor man.
Oh.
It's amazing. You can go on my Instagram and see it. It's real. It's here in Spain. And finally, 2 weeks ago, there was in Spain in the farms, normally Africans, immigrants works to collect the fruits in the farms. And a special place where they plant apple is called Lerida. Lerida, 200 Africans arrived there 2 weeks ago in seek of work to collect. It's the time to collect the apples. But because of the virus, no work was going on. And because of no work, they can't pay to sleep in any hotel, no place. So they were just sleeping 2 weeks on the street. 200 people, men with families, with loved ones, with wives, sleeping on the street. So after a week, one of them was crying. He recorded the video and put it in the Facebook. So a footballer from Monaco saw it.
Oh wow!
And called that he has money. He's a footballer, so he would just pay for a full hotel for 4 months for them to stay there. None of the hotels in Lerida wanted to accept these black poor people to stay in their hotels. However, the guy said, "How if they spoil anything, they break anything, I will pay. I have money. I'm a footballer, a famous footballer. You know me." None of the hotels accepted to accommodate these poor immigrants. And however, on the other side, people are putting pictures of George Floyd, that Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter.
It's
so I'm action instead of criticizing, however, but such kind of things, I can avoid publishing this kind of messages, but that's the fact.
Yes, yes, and it's very good of you to bring this, to the public eye, because you're right. Yeah. There are many instances of injustice. They go on every day, and it takes people with a lot of goodwill like you and this footballer to bring this out in the open and say no. This has got to stop. And thank goodness, you're the ambassador of helping. These people who risk everything.
I do my best.
Yes. And it's interesting you mentioned the footballer, because football is what gets you to Barcelona. No, you arrive.
Absolutely right.
Yes, you're in the center for it's like an internment center, isn't it, for new arrivals, for immigrants, the CIE.
Effectively, CIE, Centro Internacional de Extranjeros. Yes.
Yes, a month there, but
I was kept there for almost more than a month, just because I was immigrant without documents, and it's really, definitely, frankly speaking, it's a prison.
Oh. And thankfully you're a minor, so you have the right to stay, and they send you to Barcelona because of Barça. Oh,
effectively.
And then you describe Barcelona a little bit as it's a shock at first, isn't it? Firstly, you arrive in February 2005. It's freezing.
Exactly.
Not what you had expected. Not the paradigm.
Absolutely not.
No.
Definitely, I arrived on 25th of February 2005 in the city of Barcelona. Alone, no bags, nothing. Illiterate, and no phones, no friends, no family, alone, no money. I had only 6 euros in my pocket, because in the prison they normally give us food, some fruits, and sometimes, because they give us very few, small, not good enough amount of food. So if you are able to hide it from the dining hall and take it to the bedrooms, you can sell the food to other people. That's what I make to use those 6 euros in the prison.
Oh, wow.
So the life is really tough. Life, it's never been easy in my way, but I really thank God I'm alive, I'm here, and finally I'm able to at least assist others too.
Oh, it's very much and then you follow your intuition when you talk to Monse.
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh,
That's the magnific. It's like for me, that is like just an angel. She's been the angel of my life.
oh,
And the most surprising topic is that I was just sitting behind, besides a highway, Avenida Meridiana. It's a huge highway,
yes.
and a lot of people pass by. I mean, it's not that I was in front of her house or anything like that, because she lives in Basanco, in Baidrech, almost 20 minutes away from Barcelona. And the most strange topic is that she never come to that area on foot. She always come from San Badrege to Barcelona on her car. But fortunately, that day she came because she wanted to go and see the office of one of his children, Oriol.
Oh,
And I just stood up. Something just tells me, Ousman, get up and talk to this woman. She will help you. I just ran after her. She stood up and she started she held my hand and asked me what I wanted from her. But I was that time I speak only Arabic, English, Hausa, Wala, Ashanti, Twi, and other African languages, but I had no idea on Spanish and Catalan. And Montse, unfortunately, she speaks only Catalan and Spanish.
oh, so how did you communicate?
So she couldn't understood anything from me. So she took her mobile phone, and called the husband at home. So she gave me the phone to talk to the husband because the husband speaks English. And she asked me hundreds of questions. But finally, she asked me how old I was. I told him I was born on Tuesday. He said, "Okay, fantastic. But how old are you?" I said, "Yes, I was born on Tuesday. What else do you want?"
What else can I tell you? Oh,
what else can I tell you? The fact is that if you remember Kofi Annan was the Secretary General of United Nations.
Yes, yes.
Kofi Annan was a Ghanaian, and Kofi in Ghana language, Ashanti language, means born on Friday.
Oh, so
Kofi means born on Friday.
Oh, interesting. Yes. Oh, another brilliant man like you. Oh,
I'm trying to learn from him.
Oh, well, you've certainly got a lot to offer. You really have, absolutely. And it was
Thank
great
you.
that you came. You had then your family back. Monse, Armando, you
Yes.
have two Catalan brothers, a sister, a nephew, and it's just like wow.
It's just a miracle. It's a miracle. I mean, a lot of people normally say that Catalan people are very close people. They are not friendly and all that. But I don't know how comes this woman the whole family just accepted me from the early moment, the first moment. I was just like, it's just like a puzzle that you have one of these pieces lost, and when you find it fits perfectly. The same thing happened for me fixing in the family. It's surprising, definitely.
Yes, well, but they got a lot from you. I'm sure they felt, an innocent boy in need, but a boy who could give a lot. And I'm sure they've learned a lot thanks to you.
But the fact is that, however, I'm someone they could trust and all that. But the first moment, I was one of an immigrant guy on the street. I could be a thief, or I mean, anything. I could be anything. They didn't know anything about me.
And of course,
so it was a risk from their side too.
But you saw it from both worlds. You saw the side of how immigrants are treated for the most part.
Absolutely.
And now that you're with the family in Catalonia and established, you work very hard because you put yourself through school, university, and your abilities as a mechanic. Carrying bicycles, so that helped you, subsidize your studies.
Absolutely. The fact is that my parents, they wasn't convinced that I could finish my high school. So anytime at the beginning, I started to learn Spanish and Catalan. That was the basic. So from there, I said I wanted to go to a basic school, and they was like, "Are you serious? Why won't you just learn some kind of electrician, I mean, any kind of this work, so you'll be able to find some good work for yourself. But the more I studied, the more I realized that I really enjoy studying. But for them, it was almost impossible to imagine that I could finish university. So I started to seek for work, and finally I had a chance to work in a bicycle shop. So the idea was like, no, just let him try it. I'm going to pay everything. Just support me to try it. Just find me the way to get to your school. So it was like, okay, just let him try it. He will get tired and forget about it. So the more I finished one level, they said, okay, I said I wanted to go to the next level. They said, okay, just try it. Then the next level, then the next level, then the next level. And I ended up in the university studying chemistry for 2 years. And definitely it was tough to work 40 hours a week and study chemistry at the same time in the public university. So I have to quit. And I went to the private university. I studied marketing, public relations. And then finally I did my master's degree in administration of non-government organizations in Esade.
Ah, yes, I read, and Esade is such a prestigious school. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm not wearing one, but chapeau. And then, of course, learning Catalan, Spanish. It's funny when you're asked about your passport, your new nationality, you say you want to be Catalan.
Yes, yes.
No, you can't be, not yet.
That was very funny.
Yes, I'm amazed that you never give up. Again, because it's very, it must have been very exhausting to work and study, and it is, and especially in a foreign language languages that you are learning. But yeah, now you've got your masters, and then you found Nasco in 2012.
Yes, exactly. The idea of funding Nasco Feeding Minds is that most of the cases, I think the way the Western world proposed solutions to solve the migration problems is absolutely mistaken. That's not the right way. We don't need food to be fed in our stomachs. We need to feed the mind, not the stomach. That's why the slogan of our organization is called Nasco Feeding Minds. We feed mind, not stomachs. You could say, okay, Ousman, but if a child or someone is hungry, he can't study, he can't feed his mind. Yes, that's absolutely true. But the Western world have invested millions and millions and millions of euros in dollars in charity for feeding African stomach. But the fact is that Africa is not all the continent, but part of Africa is the most fertilized territory I've ever seen. For example, Ghana, you just throw a seed on the floor, tomorrow it generates a plant. How comes that the Western world should send export rice for me to eat? It's absolutely, I can't just understand that.
Yes, no, you've got the right idea. It's as the saying says, give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day, but teach him how to fish and he'll eat forever. That's
effectively
teach the kids and access with the young. That's because they're the future. So by introducing what you do through Nasco Feeding Minds is send computers, phones, so that the kids have access to the internet.
Exactly.
And then develop that way, or begin a new life, study or work, but from there.
Yes, the main idea is we set computer labs in schools, so children could get access to information, education as a whole. Because I think information is the key in this modern world. If they have the right information, they could make right decisions for their future. Nobody wants to die. Nobody wants to immigrate, comes here and be treated like a dog abandoned on the street. Nobody wants that.
No, no.
If they have the right information, none of them will risk their life this way.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they need the right information and, of course, opportunities to develop themselves in their hometowns, their people, their traditions, their culture. So the main idea of Nasco Feeding Minds is giving access to information and education for them to develop their future themselves. So even though the first person I convinced him to stay home study is my own blood brother,
Yes, yes, he's
and I'm
the
really
one
proud.
there.
Yes, I'm really proud of him now because he's the first candidate to get access to Parliament of Ghana, the below 30 years, the most youngest parliamentary candidate ever in Ghanaian history. His dead body could have been buried in the sand, in the desert, in the sea, or anywhere else. And due to feeding his mind today, he's the candidate for Parliament in the region where we come from. Not talking about the 20,000 children that have passed through our computer labs, or the 18 people who are right now computer developers. And my main goal now is to create this social company for this 18 people to be able to develop, to be working as a developers from Ghana through a company. We are just under a pilot company I'm creating called Nasco Tech, Code Made in Africa.
Oh, that's fantastic, Ousman. So yes, it's going in crescendo. The benefits.
You see?
Already. Yes, yes, and I mean, kudos to your brother because he stayed and he managed it all from there. It's fantastic because you needed somebody there, obviously.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I promise you that once he stayed there, once he has access to school, to opportunities, and I had got him a visa for him to come to visit Spain, he wanted to go back. Mm-hmm. This is a hell for us as an immigrant. Europe is a hell for you.
Mm. It's heartbreaking to see, you know, how some people, I mean, we're all human beings, we're all the same, but some people do not see beyond the color of someone's skin or beyond the status. It is sad. Effectively, we all want the same things out of life, more or less, to a higher or lesser degree. The same things move us.
Yes.
And the instinct of the basic instinct we all share, but it's yes, and of course, for you to have experienced this and now you're transforming the world.
Yes. I'm transforming the little portion of my world. The fact is that I always think that I am not interested in to transform, to change the world, but at least I can change the small portion of my world. If each and every one of us assume our responsibility to change the small portion of our world, our community, our surroundings, the world will change to be the better place we all expect or want to see. The fact is that we only need to assume the responsibilities that each and every one of us, we are the ministers of education of our community, we are the presidents of our country, and of course, the secretary generals of the world.
Mm-hmm. Yes, one change at a time, but it's little things that can make a massive impact.
Yes, yes. When I began the beginning, I never thought I was going to create such an impact. My idea was just to change the small portion of my world. And of course, I started with my own blood brother, only one person. That's how I started. Convincing him, let him understand the truth that paradise is in his head. Europe is Africa, not here.
And then, and now Nasco must be huge. How many employees are part of the? I'm sure there are volunteers as well who help. I was looking at the website yesterday, and you've done something marvelous because of this pandemic we're living through. a lot of computers and mobile phones that you were unable to send to Ghana.
Yeah.
You have used them in hospitals and for people who need them in Barcelona or in Catalonia. You know?
Yes, yes.
Have the means to access this technology at home, or for loved ones who are in hospital and can see their relatives. That's fantastic. Wow.
Yes, that's what I always say, that sometimes you don't need to go abroad to help. Maybe your neighbor, you don't even know the name of your neighbor. Several times you don't even know who are living in front of our apartment. And maybe he is the person who needs help. Not you have to go to abroad to help others. So I thought that it doesn't make sense keeping computers and mobile phones given to me as unused computers to be shipped to Ghana to create more schools. However, due to the pandemic situation, most of the people when they are infected by coronavirus, they were isolated from the families, and in several occasions they died alone without having the opportunity to just say goodbye to their families. So I thought it was at least my responsibility to at least cooperate a little bit with this small action by distributing all the computers we had in our warehouse to hospitals, and of course some schools to who the children couldn't follow the digital school courses because of lack of computers at home. So, and definitely we distributed about more than 120 something computers. So very interesting, definitely.
Oh yes. Oh, that you've made I'm sure you've made a difference with this. Oh, many people. Yes, right here, as you say, right in
in the corner.
Yes, right around the corner, as you say. People can need help that we might not even know of, and they're right next door to us.
Yeah.
Yes, it's. Or you did return to Ghana in 2008.
Yes, my father died 2008. I couldn't go back. I went for the first time 2012.
2012. Oh,
That's when I created the first computer lab.
Oh, and your mother, who is your aunt, no, who brought you up, she didn't recognize you at first.
That was quite sad, definitely. That was a little bit sad.
Well, you were with your brother, but she said, "Oh, who's this? Who's this boy? I don't recognize him." It was so emotional for her to see you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm sure you will always have the memory of Musa.
Of course. For
Your dear friend, your brother.
Yes, for me, Musa is like a brother, and he will always be a brother to me. And it's always difficult to talk about him anyway. So even though the book was dedicated to Musa, and I hope to be able to visit his parents next time I go to Ghana, because the first time I went to visit them, it was so hard that I couldn't stay. It was too hard for them.
His parents are still alive then in
Yes.
Ghana, and with Musa throughout the book you mention him a lot because you keep running into each other. Obviously you spend the 3 weeks in the desert. That experience you do together, but then you meet again, and it's
again and again.
Your soulmates. Oh, but you'll always be here. You'll always have him with you.
Say always. I always say have him in heart. I always keep him in heart, definitely.
Oh, he must be proud of your achievements. Definitely proud. Oh yeah. And your Catalan parents, your Catalan family, Montse and they must be rather. I mean, they must be amazed.
Yes, the fact is that my father, he's really surprised with all I've achieved, because he never expect I could have get just up to this point. Because even though his own biological children, only my sister was able to finish university degree. The other two brothers, they couldn't finish high school.
Oh.
Just because they wanted to work earlier, they were not good in studying anyway. So for him, it's have always been like, I just can't believe what's going on with
Yes.
you, this guy. But it's really, he's very emotional. I remember the last one time he accompanied me to the airport. I was going to Ghana, and when we arrived there, it was very tough for him to say goodbye. She just said, "Please come back,"
Oh.
with tears, and it shocked me a lot. Definitely, that was all he could say. Please come back.
Oh, yes. And you did.
Of
Absolutely.
course, I did. Of course.
Yes. So your idea is definitely to continue with NASCO, and now the NASCO Tech, other projects, and to stay in Barcelona for now.
Yes, the fact is that I think they have this Spanish word, which phrasal verb, which says that you have to learn to swim in two different rivers at the same time.
I like that.
Yes.
En dos ríos diferentes al mismo
Exacto.
tiempo.
Hay que aprender a nadar en dos ríos. That's my case. Africa needs me. Ghana needs me. In the other hand, Catalonia needs me. If, for example, whenever I go to a university to give a conference or a company to give a congress, when they invite me for speeches and all that, people really get touched with the real story. Students recognize the importance of education. And for me, it's a big gift to see the faces of all the students who had access to education just for free, just because they're Europeans and they're Spanish people. They have access to education and they don't normally value it the way it is. And when they realize, when they acknowledge my life experience after my speech, they normally get touched. And definitely, for me, I think I have to try to combine these two work, giving speeches in the Western world, and of course, making NASCO and NASCO Tech bigger and bigger to impact more people's lives down there in Africa.
And you will, Ousman, absolutely, yes. and if anybody wants to donate, they can go on the website and donate to NASCO.
Yes.
Times. That's the way to do it, and get involved. It's fantastic.
Our organization is non-government organization. I am the founder. I funded NASCO at 2012, and with my own pocket money. I bought the first 45 computer for the first computer lab with my own pocket money. And since then, we never have received any government support, economic support from no Spanish government, neither the Ghanaian government. We only get support from volunteers, individual donors, etc., etc. And of course, the conferences I give out, the monies we receive from the contracts of my conferences, what we use to finance NASCO. So definitely, we really need people to support us. Anyone who really will that or thinks that the solution is feeding people's minds in Africa to solve the migration problem, then you can go on our website and make your donation, or buying the book is another way to support the initiative. So we will be more grateful.
Yes. It's fabuloso, really, because yes, that's the way, and hopefully people give donors and a great team of volunteers. Your book has a lot of acknowledgements and thank yous. I was reading the last; it's about 2 or 3 pages with thank you.
Yeah.
Very touching, very emotional, because yes, you were meant to. You were just meant to stay and meant to do it, meant to create that change, to impact so many lives. And how many? One last question: how many languages do you speak?
Because wow,
the
couple. I see.
Ghana.
In Ghana, okay. For example, my father is Wala. However, my mother is Vagla. So of course, I have to speak the 2 languages to start. Ghana, English is the first language because it was colonized by Great Britain. So English is like you learn, everybody speaks English more or less. In the other hand, the second language is Ashanti. So because I My parents were from the north of the country, northern side of the upper west region of the country, which is where Wa is. That we was moved to Bro Ahaf region, and in the Bro Ahaf region, we speak Twi, Ashanti, Hausa. I have to learn Hausa. It's quite similar to Arabic, but it's not Arabic. So quite 8 or 9 languages I speak. Yes.
Oh, wow. Now Spanish and Catalan. See?
Now Spanish and Catalan.
Are you better at Catalan or Spanish? Which one do you prefer?
I think I use more Catalan than Spanish. However, I defend myself quite well in Spanish too. I would even send you a video with, I did a conference for a very important bank called BBUBA. They did a very good a film on my speech, so I will send it to you.
Oh yes, thank you. Yeah, gracias. Oh, well, I don't want to take up more of your time, but thank you so much, Ousman.
You're most welcome, Victoria.
How do you say thank you in your language?
Medase.
Metase.
Medase. Yeah, nase.
Metase. Oh, shokran too. Yeah.
Afwan.
It's very wow. I felt so humble reading every step of your journey, and some portions filled me to tears, especially the first night you stay at Monse and
Monses.
Oh, it's but you see all the suffering, all the ordeals you went through, they had to be for
a reason.
What you're doing now. There was a reason. There was a reason for it, and you come out incredibly shining and creating these wonders around you, and continue to do it.
I will do my best. I will do my best.
See, oh well, we'll be in touch. Muchas gracias.
Gracias a ti, Victoria. Hasta la próxima.
Sí,
Adiós.
hasta la próxima, Ousman.
Adiós. Adiós. Igualmente. Adiós.
Adiós. Gracias.